You are listening to the Adult Sabbath School lessons for the third quarter of 2022. This is lesson number 3 of the Adult Sabbath School Bible Study Guide in the Crucible with Christ. This lesson is titled The Birdcage and is ready for teaching on Sabbath, July 16. The author is Pastor Gavin Anthony, who was conference president in Iceland when he wrote this series of lessons. Today, your lesson is read by Dr. Percy Harrold. Wednesday, July 13, An Enduring Legacy. Read 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 6 and 7. What is Peter saying? In this you greatly rejoice, though now for a little while, if need be, you have been grieved by various trials, that the genuineness of your faith, being much more precious than gold that perishes, though it is tested by fire, may be found to praise, honour, and glory at the revelation of Jesus Christ. Peter was writing to people who were battling through difficulties and often felt very alone. He was writing to God's elect, as it says in verse 1, exiles scattered throughout the provinces of Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia. This is the area we know today as Western Turkey. A few verses later, Peter says that he knows that they are experiencing griefs in all kinds of trials in verse 6. What does Peter mean by saying that they are exiles and scattered? How might that add to their trials? Being a Christian during those times was a new thing. Believers were small in number and in various places where they were a decided minority who were often misunderstood at best, persecuted at worst. Peter assures them, however, that these trials are not random or chaotic. Let's read that verse again. In this you greatly rejoice, though now for a little while, if need be, you have been grieved by various trials, that the genuineness of your faith, being much more precious than gold that perishes, though it is tested by fire, may be found to praise, honour, and glory at the revelation of Jesus Christ. Genuine faith is the goal of those who persevere through all kinds of trials. Now read 1 Peter 1 verses 6 through to 9. What ultimate assurance does Peter seek to give these people amid their trials? What does this hope mean for us too? So 1 Peter 1, beginning at verse 6, in this you greatly rejoice, though now for a little while, if need be, you have been grieved by various trials, that the genuineness of your faith, being much more precious than gold that perishes, though it is tested by fire, may be found to praise, honour, and glory at the revelation of Jesus Christ, whom, having not seen you love, though now you do not see him, yet believing, you rejoice with joy inexpressible and full of glory, receiving the end of your faith, the salvation of your souls. Whatever their trials, whatever they suffer, how can it be compared to the eternity that awaits them when Christ returns? Peter's words to them are God's words to us, regardless of whatever we are facing. However difficult or painful our trials, we must never lose sight of the ultimate end, eternal life in a new heaven and new earth, without pain, suffering, or death. With such a promise before us, a promise guaranteed us through the death of Jesus, how important that we not lose faith, but instead, amid our trials, ask the Lord to purge us of everything and anything that stands in the way of our faith. This lesson was read by Dr. Percy Harrold for Christian Services for the Blind. Sponsored by the Sabbath School Department and distributed through Hope Channel Australia, this podcast is also redistributed by Hope Channel Germany, Christian Record Services for the Blind. It is also available on SoundCloud and through multiple podcast distributors, including Apple iTunes. And you can listen and watch at the same time on YouTube. Remember, God is always faithful.